As you probably know, historically we had some point solutions in the area of end-user computing. There was VDI solution, there was a solution for virtualizing applications. On March this year, we launched Horizon Family, a family of products that integrate many previous technologies and bring some new functionalities into Horizon Suite, which is a product that is already available and is a product that we believe can cover all the things that are necessary in this modern workforce of mobile users. I would like to also add, as an introduction to this section, that end-user computing is one of our two most important areas of interest. First one is, of course, the virtualization and cloud computing. But after this session, I would like you to remember that VMware is not only providing infrastructure, VMware is also providing solutions for end users to provide you with a complete stack of products for enabling modern IT. And why we are talking about changing something in the area of end-user computing, let's start with some quick facts about what's happening on the market. On the market, there are some trends that we are driving ourselves. These trends come from something that is called consumerization. Consumerization is a trend in which we, as employees of companies, are going to the work with some personal experience with consumer IT that we get at home. So usually maybe 100% of you will use Dropbox, SkyDrive or something like this in your personal life. And who is not using Dropbox for work? Yeah, do you see? So it would be good to have something like Dropbox, but managed inside our environment, inside our data center. Also, many services like software as a service, Office 365. Microsoft is our big competitor, but Office 365 is a great product. I use it, I like it. But if I would run an IT organization inside my company, I would like to have some control about which users access this application, who is entitled to use this application, and things like this. And what's probably the most important change in the way we work is not just the application, it's the device that we are using. I came here from Warsaw with 3 devices: my MacBook, my iPad, and my Samsung Galaxy S3. And I think that is quite similar with you. You're not using only laptop or notebook to work. People just start using different devices, iOS, Android devices, and we have to address this situation by providing them with access to applications from these different devices. And as the devices started to appear about, let's say, 5 years ago, I think it's the time where first tablets appeared on the market, the market of application vendors answered by producing versions of applications that are available as software as a service from the browser. So it means that they are completely independent from the operating system. You can use MacBook, you can use Windows, you can use Android device, and always you can access the same device. There is also a huge amount of specific mobile applications that are distributed by Google Play or App Store. And this is what is happening. And people that you are managing as IT guys are starting to use these applications in work. And sometimes it's really risky to allow them to do this, but from the other hand, blocking them can cause also some misunderstanding inside the organization. As an IT, you can have some problems with communicating with the other part of the company. And at the end, the expectations. And about the expectations, I would like to share with you one funny story that someone told me. We know an IT manager back in Czech Republic, in the country that I'm also responsible for. And this IT manager told me that once he went to the CEO to ask the CEO for a budget to implement campus-wide Wi-Fi network. Before going to the CEO, he asked the partner company to prepare a project, to prepare a budget, to prepare a timeline. So he went and told the CEO, I need 500,000 euro to create big Wi-Fi network. This will take 3 months, and we need to do this. And this CEO asked him, why is it so expensive? Last week I went to MediaMarkt, I bought a Wi-Fi router, I went back home, opened it, configured, in 15 minutes I have running Wi-Fi network in my home. So why do you want me to pay 500,000 euro for thing that I made myself? And this is a great example of how people are starting to think. They think that our work is easy, that it's easy to implement Wi-Fi, it's easy to give them access to application. They don't know how it really looks from the inside of an IT organization. And these guys will jump in your head, they will try to put a bullet in your stomach just to get some things working like they have in their personal life. So these are these 3 things that I hope that you agree with me are happening right now. Another thing, this is a little joke, there is no good presentation without some analyst reports, things like this. So I have some Gartner report, very simple and little funny. It can show you some interesting facts that first PC was shipped in 78, and it took almost 21 years to sell 100 million of PCs. Then we had something like a smartphone. They say that the first one came to the market in 96, and it took only 15 years for a smartphone to reach 100 million users worldwide. So we have some acceleration, and then there's iPad. Then there is something like a tablet appearing 5 years ago on the market, and the analyst says that in this year, in 2013, they will sell in total over the world 100 million of these devices. Yeah? Yeah, let's say about the mainstream tablets available to... Yeah, we can argue about the exact dates and the amount of years it took, but I think that we can agree that it took a lot of shorter time to sell 100 million tablets than it took to sell 100 million PCs or other devices. What I want to say is that the adoption of technology is accelerating. 5 years ago, there was probably no such thing as mobile application. There was no such thing as Google Play. Now we have something like 300 billion downloads of applications every year. It's just to show you that the market is going faster. And it's not the IT that is running it. It's becoming the customer, the user that is accelerating this. And this user will come to you with his iPhone, with the iPad, and probably it will not be a regular worker. What I see is that the first person that comes with an iPad to the IT department is usually the owner, the CEO, someone from the management, because these are the people that adopt this technology very fast. And they expect you that you will provide them every application, every asset that you are managing, the same way as you do on the Windows device, they want to use it on the tablet. This is what's happening. If not now, if you haven't encountered it yet, it will happen this year, next year. This is where the world is going right now. So a couple of other interesting statistics. Usually when you put some percentage on the presentation, people believe it. It doesn't matter if it's true or not, but Gartner says that most of us use more than 2 devices, and we use these devices to work. Another funny statistic is that more than 30% of all the employees worldwide are mobile employees. So these are employees that are not able to use static desktop computer put on their desk. They are using laptops, they are using tablets, iPhones, things like this. And what other statistics shows that the PC shipments will be steady. Probably year after year, the number of PCs bought in the industry will be the same. But what's interesting, in 2014, we will ship a lot of Android devices. We will ship a lot of iOSs. They will probably in this year be equal to each other. And till the 2016, half of the mobile devices you will manage in your organization will be the devices owned by your users. So this will not be devices that your company bought. This will be private devices that users bring to work and expect you to provide them with access to applications using these devices. So what you manage now, or what you were managing till now, was an infrastructure that was built for internal employees only. It was an infrastructure that in general was using Windows operating system installed on some desktop PC or a laptop PC. Those devices were usually connected with wired networks, and those devices were using applications that were hosted in your data center, the applications that usually had a form of Windows 32 application, binary application run inside it. And please don't feel offended, it's the old way of doing this. This is something that is changing. This is something that is changing because right now you're not required to provide the IT assets only to your employees. You have to provide it to the customers, to co-workers, partners, temporary workers, things like this. So you are not only limited to the office you're working in. The services are usually wider and cover many other people than employees. Another thing is the device. It's not only Windows that is being used as an access device to the infrastructure you are hosting. These are tablets, these are personal devices, these are MacBooks, and this is something that is accelerating a lot. Again, wire is not the preferred access method to the network. The preferred access methods right now are mobile networks and Wi-Fi networks, because all the mobile devices doesn't have RJ45 connections. This is the way the users want to connect to your network. And the last but not least, the application is not so static as it used to be. It's not a server inside your data center, and it's not a client installed on the Windows application, on the Windows operating system. The application can be software as a service that you can buy from any of the providers on the market. It can be mobile application. It can be web application developed by some internal programmers. So there's a wide spectrum of applications that we want to manage. And in the current infrastructure, when the user is tied to his desktop and the applications are tied to the data center, it's really hard to make a change. It's really hard to implement solutions that will support this new landscape. So instead of what we have right now, we are managing Windows operating system, we are managing data that resides in user profiles on our network shares, and we are managing applications that are Windows applications. We have to be prepared that soon the landscape of the assets that we have to manage will be much more wider. Different applications, data stored everywhere, locally on the device, somewhere in the cloud, on your servers, and what's most important, different devices, the devices that we right now maybe can't even imagine what will come in 2 years or 3 years to the market. So this was just to scare you a little bit and why you should think about doing. So what are the usual actions that the IT departments take when facing these problems that are connected to different devices, users bringing their own devices? The most common reaction is to ignore it. And this is something that's happening right now. But ignoring this is very difficult, because letting your users using services like Dropbox, like SkyDrive, is affecting the security of the data. You can lose the data, the sensitive data can go to the public, and this is something that we don't want to have. Another thing is to lock everything down, close out all the network ports, don't allow users to use their smartphones, don't allow users to use Wi-Fi. But it is also a very short-term solution, and it's a solution that will put us in a light of enemies. And as an IT department, we want to be seen as an internal service provider. We are some kind of organization that is selling services to other parts of our company. And we want to be seen as a good service provider, not the bad guys that are always pushing back everyone and saying, no, it's not possible, no, we do not allow it. So it's not the way, especially, like I told you before, it's not the regular guy that will come to you and ask for access on his iPad. It will be your manager, it will be the owner, and it's sometimes really hard to tell him, no, we can't do it. The third idea about solving this changing landscape is buy a point solution. Of course, there's a Dropbox as a public service, but there is also some service providers that are allowing you to buy some managed solution. But it will cover only part of this. You can cover buying the service data synchronization. You can cover another thing with another solution. What we want to show you an integrated approach, integrated product that will address all the things that we talked before. And this is something that we want to invite you to do. We want you to take a journey to start thinking differently about the end user environment and start transforming those assets that you manage. Assets, I mean, namely data, applications, and desktop. Transform it into services that you can manage centrally, that you can put some policies on it, that you can control, audit. Broker those services with some kind of central point that users will use to access these services, and make this point as much independent from the operating system as possible, so it can be accessed and delivered to any device that can arise in your organization. And this is what we do with VMware Horizon. VMware Horizon is the name of a family of products. For now, we have a bundle, a set that is called Horizon Suite. And it's a suite that allows you to manage these different devices, allows you to securely allow users to synchronize data, to share this data between each other and between people from outside of the organization. And it gives you full visibility into what's happening on these devices and why users and what users are doing on this. For those of you who already know about VMware, our past solutions, you know that we had VDI and we still have VDI solutions, VMware View. We have right now something that is used to manage mobile devices. It's called the Workspace. And we have something that we acquired last year, a company called Norwa, very interesting one, that we are using to manage those physical desktops. Because the change is bringing lots of new devices, but it's not a secret that physical desktops will last for years in your organizations. So 3 products are bundled in this Horizon Suite family. It's VMware Horizon Mirage that allows you to manage physical desktops, VMware Horizon View, which is responsible for providing virtual desktop infrastructure, and Horizon Workspace, which is a central solution of managing mobile devices and for accessing those transformed assets like applications data from multi-device environment. So this is Suite. It's available as a single license for a named user. All the necessary requirements like vSphere licenses for running this are already included. So it's very easy to deploy, it's very easy to buy, it's very easy to manage. And let's take a little closer look on what's inside. Horizon View. This is this part responsible for VDI. Being honest, I have to say that Horizon View actually is the most dynamically updated product in our portfolio. Even VMware vSphere, our hypervisor, in the past 3 years was not updated as frequently as VMware View. In past 3 years, we had version 3.0, 4.0, 4.1, 4.5, 4.6, 5, 5.1, 5.2. We are really investing in this product as we believe that virtual desktop infrastructure is a future of the environment that users need in the office. So what really does VMware View? VMware View transforms a desktop into a virtual machine, which we can call right now a transformed asset. It puts it in a data center, and using a very efficient protocol, it allows multi-device access through the central broker. So this is the main idea. The devices that we are supporting right now that can be clients. It's a wide range of devices. You can see some of them in the main hall. There's Samsung with us that is producing very interesting Zero clients, integrated displays with specialized processor inside that can be used to access these virtual desktops. We have specialized agents that you can install on your iOS phone, on your Android device, on MacBook, on Linux, on almost every device that we can imagine, and almost every device can be used to access remotely this virtual desktop that resides in the data center. And all this happens over the very efficient protocol that is called PC over IP, which is really industry leading protocol when you compare it to the competition like Microsoft RDP and things like this. So what we achieve as an organization, as an IT, and what our business achieves when we transform those classical desktop PCs into virtual infrastructure, these are many things. For sure, it's better security and better compliance. It's always easier to manage something that is centralized. It's also increased savings in operational costs. So it's much easier to support and provide help desk for the infrastructure that is virtualized. Of course, we are opening a door to all the devices because this protocol and the client is available to any device. So we are not forcing user to use a classical desktop. We can allow him to use any device to access this virtual desktop and any application that he wishes to use inside this virtual desktop. We're gaining business agility. It's just a matter of 3 minutes to create a new virtual desktop. It's just a matter of a couple of minutes to provide user with new application in this virtualized environment. It is also very easy to replace broken Zero client with another device. All the data that user is using is stored securely in the data center. So in the same time, we are providing users with backup, which with traditional methods is quite expensive. This is a lot of good things that we can achieve using this different approach to providing users with desktop. Just to summarize, Horizon View 5.2 is the newest version that was published in March this year. With every version, we add some cool stuff that enables broader adoption. What we did with the newest version that I think that it's most interesting is that we enabled this virtual desktop to process 3D applications. So it's possible to use AutoCAD, 3D graphics, 3D cinema, 3D movie applications inside this virtual desktop. We can take advantage of the NVIDIA cards that you can put into the servers and share those cards between many virtual machines that are running Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 8. So any application that has a requirement of using DirectX or OpenGL can now work on our environment, and this is something that really makes us different from the competition. Another thing that is quite interesting is that we can provide users with access to their virtual desktop without installing any agent, any add-on to a browser. We are using pure HTML5 application in the browser to access the remote session of Windows. This is something that you can see if you will visit me on the stand that we have in the main hall. I'm ready to present the things that I'm talking about right now. So I know that it always works on slides, but I can show you that in reality it is also working quite good. So let's go further. Horizon Mirage, as I told you, some PCs will still stay physical PCs. This is why we want to manage them centrally also, but we want to execute them just like we did before on local devices, on local PCs, on local laptops, and things like this. So Mirage is another solution that allows you to transfer desktop into central service, but it is only doing the master image creation in the data center that is then synced with all the devices, all the desktops, all the laptops that you are managing. So just to show you how it works, you create something like a master image, like a standard operating system with all the applications in the data center, and you use a streaming technology built into Horizon Mirage to push this standard onto every desktop and every laptop that you are using. And from this perspective, it's like flipping the VDI concept. The image is still managed centrally in the data center, but it's not run on the servers on the data center, it's run on the local devices. This is something that I also encourage you to visit me. We can talk a little bit. I can show you how it works. And again, taking advantage of this architecture, that we have central image of every device in the data center that is being synced with the PCs and laptops, we can do many scenarios. We can do backup and recovery. We are copying every file, every change that is happening on this desktop to the data center. We can do PC refresh cycles very easily because every image of every device is stored in the data center. We just take another fresh laptop and restore the whole image centrally. And of course, when something goes wrong, when a user is losing his laptop or the disk is damaged, it's also very easy to replace the disk and restore the complete copy of the operating system, not just the user data. We are restoring the whole operating system with preserving the name, the domain information, the security identifiers, and things like this. So for those devices that cannot be virtualized, we can use VMware Mirage. And VMware View and VMware Mirage are a complete solution that allow you to manage endpoints. At the end, there is Horizon Workspace. Horizon Workspace is the central broker, the central place that user is accessing to get his applications, data, and things like this. We build it as a web portal based on HTML5. So generally, it works with every browser on every device that is supporting HTML5. And through that portal, user can get access to applications, his desktop, and the data. This is the idea behind the Horizon Workspace, and this is the user perspective. But there is also something which is called IT Admin Portal, and from the administrator perspective, you get complete control of which users can use which applications, what is the quota of the data that they can use, what are the policies of sharing data between them and externally. So you have complete control of what's going on. You have also complete control about processes like wiping devices after they are lost or stolen. You have also control over the security requirements on the devices that users are using. So Workspace allows you to deliver securely applications, data, and desktop onto any device using a browser. This is the idea. And again, lots of advantages that this thing can give you. Collaboration. Users can share their data between each other, between partners, external contributors. They can use their own devices. In the United States, when you are being employed by VMware, you have a choice. You can get a device from the company, just a regular company device, or you can say that you will be using your device. And if you will choose, I'll be using my device, you get all the infrastructure that we are talking about. Yep. As VMware, we have a history of not over-promising. So for now, I would like to say no. Every device that we consider that will be important in the future. It's yeah. I understand, but yeah. Every decision that we make about availability of our products to different platforms is always backed up by solid market research. And we are working very closely with Gartner, with Forrester, with many organizations. And after sitting on one table and looking into the future, we agreed that BlackBerry won't be a big player and it won't be a big market opportunity for us. I understand that there are companies and organizations that will still be using BlackBerry. It's a great technology. I used to use it. But when it comes to business and such decisions, it's always the market share that Android, iOS, and BlackBerry will have. And from the information we have, BlackBerry will be very niche product. iOS and Android would take more than 90% of the market in the future. So I'm really sorry for now. We are not planning this. Okay. And you got me. I should be more careful with using term any device. Okay. So this portal is available. I saw that a couple of partners that are available on the conference created demo environments of Horizon Workspace. I have my own too. And I encourage you to come see how it works because it's easier to understand when you have it in your hands, when you take an iPad and see how is it used. Okay, just to summarize. It's, first of all, solution for end users, but it's also a great tool, one point of managing access to the data, to the applications for you, for the IT departments. File collaboration, so users can share their files. Files are stored inside the data center but synchronized over every device that the user is using. We are doing versioning, so if a user changes a Word document, it's saved as another version, so he can switch between this version. User can share a document and work with other user on the document. They can make comments. So it's kind of collaboration and data sharing utility. You can give your users access in a central portal. All the applications are represented by small tiles. These tiles can be software as a service applications, web applications, TNAP virtualized Windows applications, or mobile applications. This is all available in this portal. You decide which user gets which set of application. And you can also create something that is called application catalog. So you can create a complete list of every application that is available in your environment. And users can use some kind of self-service to add them to this portal. And depending on the policy, the user can get this application immediately, or there will be a workflow launched that will alarm your manager or application owner that someone wants to get access to this application, and do you allow this? So this is also that is being built in to the solution. Access to the desktop through the browser. User, after logging to this portal, can switch to the computers tab. Then he sees the virtual desktops that he is entitled to use. After clicking this, the desktop is opened in a browser. So this is what is happening. Current version architectures. This is really more deep dive. I think that it's not a place for such deep dive discussion. But if you want to know more, please go to our partners. Come to me. I will be more than happy to tell you more. Promotion. Does anyone use VMware View already? Okay, so promotion is not for you, but there's a lot of materials. There's a team in the Baltics countries, Darius and Gedrus. There is me. If you want to know more about this, if you want to do some proof of concept, some pilot, if you are interested, please reach us. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.